lights turned on now. It's a big night tonight here at the Hill on the campus of Walter Welborn High School as we welcome you into the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy with you, and let's send it down to the field for a very special presentation for tonight's game.
Field. Coach Erica Kelly Lehman, thank you for the many years that you have dedicated your time and love unselfishly as a coach, teacher, mentor, and friend to all that have walked the halls of our beloved Welborn High School. You've made a lasting impact on so many lives during the many years that you have spent serving and giving back to your school and community. You are a shining star that will forever shine bright here on top of the hill. Once a Panther, always a Panther. We have one more recognition. We would like to recognize Miss Robin Kynes and all former color guard and majorettes of Walter Welborn High School. Tonight, the former color guard and majorettes of Walter Welborn and all the girls who had the privilege of being coached by Robin Kynes want to celebrate her. She shared her gifts, talents, and work ethic to make us the best we could be. We will never forget. Thank you, Miss Kynes. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for Coach Smith, Coach Kelly, and Miss Kynes. I'm about to.
A very special night at the Hill on the campus of Walter Welborn.
And cheerleaders and color guards make their way off the field. We do want to play a special song created by Mr. Scott Tyree and Primetime Sports that he created in honor of the Welborn Panthers and naming the field at the Hill after his good friend, Coach Jeff Smith. Please listen to the song and join them on Primetime this afternoon.
A special day
to see the video
in the history of Walter Welborn High School. As here you see tonight, the field here at the Hill officially named for one of Walter Welborn's very own that not only has coached here for the past 17 seasons, but that also played right here at Walter Welborn High School. One of our friends as far as the coaching profession of FNN when it comes to Coach Jeff Smith. We welcome you into the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy with you, along with Shasta Jones down on the sidelines, Jackson New, Jim Jacobs, and of course Eddie Bullock riding shotgun here with us. And Eddie, first off, this is a very, very special night for really one of the good guys in coaching, especially in our area, in Jeff Smith.
Absolutely. A good friend of mine. We always communicated, had fun, coaching against each other. And, we talked a lot about football over the past. So, I think it's a great honor. And, I couldn't have dedicated it to someone better than Jeff Smith.
And at least I came over here Wednesday to take a look at Walter Welburn's practice leading up to tonight's big Class 3A Region 6 game. And the first thing I asked Coach Smith when he came up to me after practice, of course, was about how he felt about getting the field named after him. And he mentioned as far as this being a celebration of the era that he's been a part of course, the almost 2 decades that he's led the Panthers football program. Also the time that he spent in the late 80s as a player for the Panthers. But with all of that said, Eddie, what stuck out to me was just the emotion and the appreciation that he has for how Walter Welburn and the community is honoring him tonight.
Well, James, I can tell you, anytime you can come back home and be received the way he has been received in this community and from this school, man, I mean, it makes your heart melt, and he and I, we talked about it in the past, and it just makes you feel good to be welcomed back home and accepted, for good or bad, and, no strings attached, just, you being family.
I tell you, Eddie, from the coaches that I've visited just in the 5 seasons doing football games with FNN in our area, Jeff Smith is the embodiment as far as just when you look at the schools that they coach at. Jeff Smith really embodies the hardworking, blue-collar type of culture that Walter Welburn's always been about.
Well, and that's what he came through. He played on the blue-collar, and, he know what it takes, and he's been really, really blessed. Good group of guys, good community, and he's done a fantastic job, coaching. And, hey, my hat's off to him, man.
And whether it's at a big-time program, a 3A program, a 1A program, anywhere, when you can stay almost 2 decades at one place, you've done something right.
Absolutely. And then when you able to stay at home, that's icing on the cake because, a lot of times, your hometown don't receive you like that,
Absolutely. As you take a look at current and former players as well as alumni giving their embrace to one of the best as far as just pure men when it comes to Coach Jeff Smith, as they'll take on the Ohatchee Indians. And, of course, a lot of hoopla with the field being named after Jeff Smith. But tonight's a big game for both of these teams because when you look at it in Class 3A Region 6, because this is an important region game for both teams, Eddie, in a lot of ways. For the winner, they're one step closer, especially if it's Walter Welburn, to getting into the postseason. And for the loser, it may mean that their postseason chances go out the window.
Absolutely. And, Jeff team has added motivation because, it's 2 times you don't want, well, actually 3 times you don't want to lose. And that's homecoming, that's senior night, and, of course, this special dedication to him. He definitely, the boys don't want to let him down. So I guarantee you're going to see some fireworks.
Guys, let me jump in here just a little bit and interject a couple of things, too, from our perspective. When we started doing this 15 years ago, this is one of the places where we were welcomed with open arms. A lot of folks really didn't know what streaming and covering games was all about and things like that. And, Coach Smith, he just made us incredibly welcomed and, come do our games. We'd love to have you. And he's been a friend ever since. And by the way, we're both huge Elvis fans. It's just great to see this happen for him because he deserves it. He was our very first Coach of the Year back in 2012. And, it's just great to see this happen for somebody who's been at it so long. And, Eddie, if I'm not mistaken, other than Dr. Tommy Miller, Coach Smith is probably the most tenured coach in the county, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And, Jim, I'll tell you a quick story. My friendship with Jeff goes beyond, we coached, but we never actually played each other head to head. But I can tell you this, Jeff Smith is the only coach that I know that I've ever dealt with or had any dealings. He texts me every holiday. He texts me on my birthday, and he texts me anytime something happened with his kids. And we always been just that close. And most people hadn't been able to get on the inside and actually just meet him and talk to him. But most people see his demeanor out on the field, but hey, I've actually had an opportunity to see the true heart of Coach Jeff Smith, and hey, I can tell you he is a great guy. You know, he supported me through whatever, and he's just a great guy, man.
Yeah, and he really is. He's the epitome of what a community's head football coach is supposed to be about. I mean, if you went out there right now and took a pocket knife and chopped him on the arm, he'd bleed black and white, Coach.
Absolutely. I mean, he is the epitome, man, and I mean he wants those guys to have that same, you know, tradition, because your tradition don't die. I mean, you know, it just grow and grow, and he wants it to be to where, you know, that tradition after him still continues, and that's what a true community leader does.
You know, and it's really funny, too, because you still get that old school feel when you come here for a football game. And, I mean, we've seen some doozies here, Coach.
Hey, man, I think about Coach Dupree. He coached here, was at the boys club. I think about the times, you know, like you said, old school feel. I think about the times just getting in trouble and, hey, they breaking out that paddle, you know, back in the days. And it's just old school, like you said. Much hasn't changed up here on the hill.
No, and you know, as long as that guy that just got this honor is here, I don't think it ever will, and that's the way it ought to be.
Absolutely.
You know, Eddie, I told him, I had a funny conversation with him. I saw a post somewhere about a field that had just gotten the artificial turf, and it was solid black with white lines. And I took a picture of it and sent it to Jeff and said, now, Coach, this is what you need on the hill. He said, man, that's too hot.
Well, that's him. Now, I'm sure he don't mind the turf.
He probably doesn't want turf.
Absolutely. That's what I was just fixing to say. If you get the truth out of him, he'll live with that natural grass all day.
100%. Ohatchee and Walter Wellborn going at it. Walter Wellborn at 3-2 on the season, and Ohatchee at 2-3. Our countdown to kickoff brought to you by Bama Sheds continues. We'll take this time out and take a look at the statewide rankings, the top 10 across the state of Alabama. On the other side of this timeout, as you're watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at FNN.
From the Hill at Jeff Smith Field at Walter Wellborn High School, we welcome you in to the countdown to kickoff presented by Bama Sheds. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Jim Jacobs, Shasta Jones, as well as the rest of our FNN crew. A special night here on the campus of Walter Wellborn, as let's take a look as far as the top 10 in the state of Alabama this week. First off, in Class 7A, as you have really a competitive top 5 or so, Central Phoenix City and Thompson getting 17 first-place votes combined, as Central Phoenix City just a little bit ahead of Thompson for the top spot. And then you take a look at the rest of the top 10, and, of course, a heavy Birmingham flavor with Hewitt-Trussville along with Vestavia and Hoover in that top 10 along with Thompson.
Eddie, are we going to see something different in Birmingham this year other than Thompson and Hewitt, Central Phoenix City?
Maybe. You know, I'm thinking I've got an opportunity to watch them. You know, Thompson has played a lot of close games, and, you know, it's the first time in a while you see them with 2 L's on their side. But I think we're going to see something different.
All right, well, let's wait and see how that turns out. Let's move on to Class 6A, where Clay Chalkville appears to be in a league of their own.
Yeah, at 7-0 on the season, 17 of the 18 first-place votes. And then you look at the rest of the top 10, Homewood hanging in there in the top 10 at 6-1, but at least out of 6A Region 6, Clay Chalkville, the top team in region play, and that's really pretty much it as far as that top 10. Muscle Shoals, Saraland, Hartselle, and Parker all in that top 5.
Hey, Coach, you better keep your eye on number 6 right there. Coach Johnson, you know, he came up from Montgomery Catholic with a couple of state titles in his pocket. He might be a sleeper.
Right. And, of course, you know, I watched Parker. Parker, to me, is not playing as hungry as they were. But, hey, I tell you what, Clay Chalkville is that deal.
Yeah, they are rock solid.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it. That's a good program right there. Let's move on over to 5A, where there's some sleepers looming here as well. Of course, everybody's been talking about Moody all season long. They've got a tough one tonight, the battle for the bridge over at Leeds at Homer Smile Stadium for the Blue Devils. Probably will get out of there with a win if everything goes right. But there's another one, Coach, at number 6. Coach Danny Horn laying in the weeds.
Well, you can't bet against the Horn. He's been there and done that. So, you never count that man out.
And then don't forget St. Clair County, a huge double overtime win at home last week against St. Clair County, as they're firmly in the top 10 this week at number 8.
Yeah, picked up that big W against the Leeds Green Wave, and that was a big deal for St. Clair County. We will see them in a couple of weeks against Jacksonville. All right, here's Class 4A. St. Michael took care of Jackson last week. Hey, Coach, how would you like to be in that region?
Hey, that's a tough region. Hey, I wouldn't want to be in it, not right now.
Yeah, you got pretty much 2 state championship contenders, maybe the 2 favorites at 1 and 2 in the very same region.
And the funny part about it is one of them's not going to get there. I mean, it's not possible. They're going to play for it out of the South more than likely. West Morgan's getting a lot of attention up north, as is Anniston. The Bulldogs looked pretty good to us last week, Coach.
Hey, I talked to Coach Jackson, and he seems to think he can make a run. So, I don't really know a lot about West Morgan, but I'm interested to see, how things pan out toward the end of the season.
Let's slide on over to Class 3A, James, and Mars Hill Bible right there at the top where they've been for a couple of years.
And then Piedmont firmly at number 2, also with a 6-0 record. And then you got a couple of outstanding teams in Gordo and Fife. And Southside Selma's had a resurgence the last couple of years as they're having one of their best starts in program history down in Dallas County at number 5. And then you look at the rest of the top 10, Geraldine, Cottage Hill, Bayside Academy, Montgomery Academy, and T.R. Miller down in South Alabama at number 10.
Coach, after you get past Mars Hill Bible, I think any of the other 9 could make a run.
Absolutely. It's pretty much a toss of the coin, but, Mars Hill Baptist, in my opinion, is just a step above everybody else. That's just a totally different program.
All right, let's slide on over to Class 2A here and start off with Laverne at the top of the chart this week.
Yeah, Laverne, an outstanding program in Class 2A. A lot of tradition down in South Central Alabama, but Coosa Christian, even with really the last couple of years, the adversity as program that they faced, they're having a very nice season under Coach Rush Probst at number 2, coming up with 4 first-place votes this week.
Coach, I'm hearing a lot about Tuscaloosa Academy, and, of course, from our area, you've got Pleasant Valley hanging around at number 7.
Well, I think Pleasant Valley is going to make a decent run at it, but I'm like you. I've heard a lot of Lil Bird talk about Tuscaloosa Academy, so, I think that out of all of those, that's the sleeper in the group right there. And I don't mean on a negative sense.
Yeah, I agree with both of you there.
And James, if I'm not mistaken, Coosa and Tuscaloosa Academy play before the season's over, don't they?
That's right, the very last game of the season.
Boy, that'll be a war.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's slide on over to Class 1A, and of course, we can probably begin and end with the one at the top.
Without question.
Yeah, Wadley is in a time zone that none of us can get to.
Absolutely, they at warp speed.
I think the only thing that could thwart their opportunity, Coach, would be if somebody gets hurt.
Right.
The star back they've got down there. If he were to get hurt, then somebody could maybe slip in there on them. Winterboro's had a great year at number 5. They're 6-0. They will play Wadley here, I think, in a week or two. And we'll see what they can do. They're in the same region.
Well, it's definitely going to be a measuring stick for them. But, as of right now, Wadley has the upper hand on everybody in Class 1A, I believe.
And that takes care of business. So I think we're ready for the national anthem, if I'm not mistaken. And we will go to the field for that right now.
Eddie Bullock, Jim Jacobs, Shasta Jones, and our FNN crew with you tonight for Walter Wellborn and Ohatchee. Our countdown to kickoff brought to you by Bama Sheds. Built tough, built fast, backed by Bama Sheds. The coin toss still to come. And, in fact, it looks as if trying to see if Ohatchee is already, in fact, they're just about ready. In fact, they have come out of their pregame locker room about ready to take the far side of the field. And Walter Wellborn shouldn't be that far behind them, as I do indeed see the captains coming out for Ohatchee across the way. Oh, and by the way, in addition to the pregame hoopla with Coach Jeff Smith having the field named after him, there also will be a special MC for tonight's coin toss, as the honorary captain tonight here at Walter Wellborn is Dalton Gilbert, a 2020 graduate of Walter Wellborn High School. Dalton served as a team captain on the 2019 semifinal squad and was recognized as a first-team All-State offensive lineman. A dominant presence in the trenches, Dalton exemplified leadership, toughness, and dedication both on and off the field. So let's take a look to see who we have as far as those game captains for the Indians of Ohatchee. As we have the quartet, including Gus Hunter. That is Gus Hunter, of course, one of the most experienced players on the roster. Still has one more year to go with Ohatchee for 2026. And then also captains tonight, Ethan Jones, as well as Tripp Nunnally and number 62, Braxton Davis. And just still looks as if some of the captains, I believe, indeed for Walter Wellborn also have made their way out onto the field. Also 4 captains that Jeff Smith is rolling out for our toss of the coin. And tonight as well, our AHSAA referee is Cecil Garrison. Looking at these two teams so far this season, it's been an up and down season for both. Walter Wellborn, as we mentioned, at 3-2, but they're 3-1 in 3A Region 6, while for Ohatchee, been an up and down season as well, a 2-5 overall, and just 1-4 in 3A Region 6 under first-year head coach Blake Jennings. And we mentioned Jeff Smith. He's basically been at home where he played one of Walter Wellborn's very own for the past 17 seasons as their head coach. But Blake Jennings as well, Eddie, making in a lot of ways his trip back home to lead the Indians as their head coach. After spending a couple of seasons at White Plains as their head coach, and before that as Ohatchee's defensive coordinator. We inch closer to kickoff tonight. The Walter Wellborn Elementary Choir also performing the national anthem tonight. James Hardy along with the rest of our FNN crew as we take a look at the Ohatchee captains. And we were mentioning, at least before the national anthem, Eddie, of course, Jeff Smith, a special night for him as far as celebrating Walter Wellborn, celebrating one of their own, but also Blake Jennings after spending 2 seasons at White Plains as their head coach. Prior to that, defensive coordinator at Ohatchee. Prior to this season, he decided, hey, I'm going to take the call to come back home as head coach. So I imagine it's been a very special season for Coach Jennings as well.
Absolutely. Well, and like I say, anytime you get to go home and, you receive well at home, it's always a blessing, man. And that's the ultimate goal, to try to go home and coach.
J.D. Talley along with Brady Greenwood, Justice Williams, and Jayden Henniger, the captains for Walter Wellborn, as they make their way out to midfield. So does Cecil Garrison, the referee, and we'll send it down to referee Cecil Garrison for the opening coin toss. A big game tonight for both of these teams. As for Walter Wellborn, really, if they can get 2 wins and get to 5 region wins, they would feel pretty good. In fact, more than likely punch their ticket into the postseason, while for Ohatchee, if they lose tonight and Glencoe wins, Ohatchee's postseason hopes are done. Because when you look at the standings right now, as we take a look at the opening coin toss, and it appears that Walter Wellborn will kick off as Ohatchee will receive the opening kickoff for tonight's ball game. And for Ohatchee, not a lot of regular season games, so really not a lot of chances for them, Eddie, to improve their resume going into the playoffs, because after tonight they have a home game against Glencoe, and then they'll also go to Sachs for their last regular season game in 2 weeks. So really tonight is a must-win game for Ohatchee.
Absolutely, and it's a must-win for Ohatchee, but Wellborn puts themselves in a pretty good situation with winning this, because they have a couple of tiebreakers on a couple of teams. I know they have tiebreak on J.B. Pennington, so with them having 1 loss and Pennington having 2, you always got that 1 game edge on them. So
a big night here at Walter Wellborn as we're awaiting the Panthers squad to make their entrance out onto Jeff Smith Field. Piedmont and Westbrook Christian, the top two teams in Region 6 of Class 3A. A 4-0 region mark for Piedmont and 4-1 for Westbrook Christian. Then Glencoe and Walter Wellborn tied for third coming into this week, as here comes the Walter Wellborn Panthers. Under 17 seasons of the tutelage of Coach Jeff Smith, the Walter Wellborn Panthers looking to make their way back to postseason play after missing the playoffs for a rare time last season as part of that five-way tie for third in Class 3A Region 6. And there you take a look at Blake Jennings as well as the Ohatchee Indians. And before we get things kicked off, Eddie, provide us what you think are your keys for both of these teams tonight.
Well, both teams are blue-collar type teams, and, they want to run the football. So I believe the key going to be who establish themselves at the line of scrimmage, because I know Coach Smith is not going to change. He'll throw it every now and then, but he's going to run the football. And, of course, Ohatchee been known to run it. So I think the battle is going to come down to who can run the football the best. And, of course, you have to have not get penalties to drive killers, but I think it's going to boil down to who run this football the best.
Chef Tees brings you our kickoffs this evening. A big thanks to Chef Tees for joining us tonight. Located on Highway 431, not that far away from Walter Wellborn High School. And there you see the number on the screen, 256-770. As we'll take a look at Chef Tees, I imagine, a couple of times here throughout the evening, as we'll see Walter Wellborn get ready to kick things away. Caden Horton will handle the kickoff duties tonight. And then the main returner for the Ohatchee Indians is Phoenix Tuio Losega. A lot of young players tonight for both of these teams. As Horton gets ready, that is Caden Horton to kick off. Really limited numbers as far as the depth for both of these teams this year. Only about 5 or 6 seniors for both Ohatchee and Walter Wellborn, and about 35 to 40 on the roster this year, as Horton, a low line drive, goes over the head at the 16-yard line. And looks like Sanders able to pick it up and advance it to around the 13, maybe the 14-yard line. In fact, let's take a look at the Ohatchee offense as Carson Sanders, the starting quarterback. Now, in their 2 victories, Eddie, for Ohatchee, Sanders has had a combined 4 touchdowns passing. Now, of course, they're not going to throw the ball a lot, much like Walter Wellborn, because Coach Jennings has returned his offense to the Ugly Eagle. The starting offense at running back, Jayden Sickler, along with maybe some Braden Bennett tonight. Sickler on the call and breaking out of a tackle and roaming to the near side. Check that, Gus Hunter at running back, able to rumble down the field for a big gainer across the Ohatchee 45 to about the 46-yard line.
Well, it should have been a tackle for a loss, but he just didn't wrap up right there. But right there, you see at the line of scrimmage, there's the tackle right there that he broke, and, he's off to the races. No breakaway speed, but he did what he needed to do.
A first down run for big old Gus Hunter, the junior. Hunter also in the backfield once more. Gets the call, and this time stood up and wrapped up and taken down. Rest of the Ohatchee starters, as Fisher Connell as well as Phoenix Tuio Losega, are more of a wing back as far as the Ohatchee offense. Tight ends Coleman Fowler and Alston Carroll. Line of scrimmage, Tripp Nunnally, the left tackle, Caden Mann, left guard, James Crump at center. Also, Raylan Snelling at right guard and Braxton Davis at right tackle. A quick look at the defensive line for Walter Wellborn as Eli Wickland and Parker Williams, the defensive ends. Nose guard Tristan Crossley and defensive tackle Juan Hernandez. Second and long. Hunter stood up again, wrapped up and taken down for a loss. Back about the 46-yard line, and so we'll take another look at some good penetration by Walter Wellborn.
Well, they running a 43 defense, so he letting his linebackers roam, and he making those down linemen demand double teams, and that's what you want to do against it. You want to free those linebackers up so when the gap come open, they can just fill the gap.
The nose guard Tristan Crossley leads the way on the tackle for loss.
Now, right here, you have to watch for a wing-back pass or something like that because it's 3rd and long. They have to throw the football.
Here's Sanders, sets up the screen. Good execution complete at midfield. As crisscrossing his way is Tuiolosega as he nearly gets the first down into Walter Welburn territory, still about a couple of yards shy of the first down as we'll take another look.
Well, you want to tell your defensive team when it's 3rd and long like that to watch for screens and draws.
The city of Ohatchee brings us our first quarter. A big thanks to the city of Ohatchee for joining us tonight as one of our sponsors. Linebackers for Walter Welburn as a 4th down coming up. Braden Horton and Caden Horton, the outside backers, and Brady Greenwood is the inside linebacker. 4th down and 2.
Well, right here, James, you want to pin your ears back and send everything because you know they're running the football.
Hunter up the middle, lowers the head. Its second effort does get the first down. That would have been very close if Walter Welburn had been able to stop forward progress right around the 43-yard line, but give credit to Hunter. His determination keeps Ohatchee on the field.
Well, they're not wrapping up on tackles right now. I see a lot of hard hits initially, but just not wrapping up.
So the drive continues for Ohatchee. 5-yard gain to the 40 for Hunter. Delay give goes to Hunter. Finds some running room. Good patience that time as coming up from his safety spot, Zane Hill on the tackle. Also Jakeem Kirby, the other Panthers safety, and J.D. Talley, as well as Maurice Taylor are the corners. And something interesting about this series, Eddie, Walter Welburn, they're looking for their first victory over Ohatchee at home since 2015.
Now, that's amazing. I didn't know that stat there.
I heard one of the coaches at practice mention that as far as motivation to the players. I did not know that either, actually, before they was coming out here to practice on Wednesday. 2nd down, 6 to go. Once again, Hunter on the call, wrapped up and taken down around the line of scrimmage, and good pursuit on the part of the front 7 for Walter Welburn as they'll limit the gain to Hunter to about a yard. Ball at the 34-yard line. We have played almost 4.5 minutes of this opening quarter. A rapid drive so far as the clock so far, predictably though, with the way that these two teams like to keep it on the ground, clock has not stopped so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to stop unless, first down, but other than that.
Sanders on the roll. He'll wind and throw, and that is almost intercepted. J.D. Talley able to jump the pass that time and almost come away with the turnover.
Well, it would have been a pick 6 if he get it. He read the quarterback eyes all the way, and, he jumped that route. He was right on it.
A big thanks to the city of Ohatchee as they bring us our first quarter. Ohatchee not too far away from where we're at Walter Welburn, just on the western outskirts of Anniston. 4th down and 4. Line to reach the 30 to keep this drive alive for Ohatchee as we'll have a whistle, and it appears a timeout on the field, and we'll take the timeout with them. No score. Ohatchee on their opening drive. 7:13 to go, opening quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
An important 3A Region 6 battle for both of these teams, as for the loser, it might be an elimination game for them as Ohatchee faces a 4th down and 4. First quarter, 7:13 to go. This is Ohatchee's opening drive.
Watch the sprint out on this, or watch the middle screen again.
4th down. Man in motion, Hunter, as the roll for Sanders. Cox, and now throws to Hunter. Dropped. Incomplete. Now, where he touched the football was shy of the first down, but I think, Eddie, if he had reeled that in, his momentum would have gotten him to the first down marker.
Well, they move in the pocket for him because it's kind of tough to cut off the pass rush of Webber right now. So they trying to move the pocket and running some safe passes.
Isaiah Amberson and the Walter Wellborn offense now come out for their first offensive possession. We'll see Maurice Traylor, Braden Horton, and Zane Hill as the primary ball carriers as the quick pitch to the near side. Some good running room for Maurice Traylor, that is the junior, as he's able to cross the 40 to the 41-yard line. Let's take a look at the rest of the Walter Wellborn offense as Eli Wicklund, the tight end, Justice Williams, the linebacker. It appears we have a marker on the field, and we do indeed at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got a false start. Receiver down here at the bottom, he didn't get lined up. He was he was 3 yards over the line of scrimmage, and by the time he moved back, the ball was snapping. So it was illegal motion.
Oh, that's never a good thing on the first play. So 1st and 15. Keeper for Amberson. Good vision that time to reverse field, and he gets a good gain across the original line of scrimmage. Crosses the 35 as well to the 38-yard line. Wicklund, the tight end. Justice Williams, the wide receiver. And then offensive line, Colt Quinn at center. Jayton Henniger at left tackle. Sawyer Thomas at right tackle. And then Parker Williams at left guard. And Dalton Dillard is the right guard. 2nd down and 6. Quick hitter right up the middle, and that's Braden Horton as he bangs through some Indians defenders into Ohatchee territory for the first down.
Well, that's Wellborn football right there, just pound and grind, pound and grind.
And there you see running through tacklers was Braden Horton, the freshman, on his first carry of the night. Up front for Ohatchee, Coleman Fowler, as well as Tripp Nunnally, the defensive ends. Jackson Turley, the nose guard. We'll also see some Braxton Davis along the defensive line. Here's the double counter as it's Zane Hill getting some running room off the left side as he's still on his feet and finally taken down inside the Ohatchee 25. And they'll spot the football maybe inside the 20-yard line. And it's going to be a Walter Wellborn first down, as well as a red zone trip.
Well, he did a good job, and if you watch him, you're going to see him seal this side. They're going to come and block that guy right there, and that's going to allow him to get a couple of extra yards.
So Zane Hill, a big carry for a first down. And Beth Thomas, Alpha Insurance Agency of Talladega. She provides coverage in Calhoun and Talladega County, brings us our red zone opportunities as Amberson sees some room, or check that, Trailer sees room, loose football in the end zone, and they say a fumble. And so looks like a touchback on the field is called. If it is, yeah, it's a touchback, and so Ohatchee gets the football.
I thought he might have crossed the line before he fumbled. Let's see.
Trailer able to take the pitch. Let's watch that football, and I think that's a good call, Eddie, as you see Gus Hunter able to knock the football out. In fact, our own Shasta Jones was able to talk with Gus Hunter right before today's ball game. And Gus Hunter banged up for much of the season, and in fact, we'll send it down to Shasta because she has some more information on one of the bell cows for Ohatchee this season.
Thanks, James. Yeah, I caught up with Gus as he was going into the locker room. He said he's playing with a torn labrum in his right hip now. Earlier this year, he had a concussion. So what you're seeing him in out there tonight is a guardian cap and a cowboy collar. He's had improvement this season in weight room speed. He's played O-line his whole life, and this is his first year at running back. He's built his leadership, and he wants those around him to continue to work hard, get better. The record doesn't matter till the end of the game and the end of the year.
Well, there you see Hunter right on cue as Zane Hill may have prevented that gain for going for bigger yardage that time. as Gus Hunter able to rumble his way to about the 28-yard line. The city of Ohatchee sponsors our first quarter. We are 7 minutes in now to the opening quarter. So a break for Ohatchee defensively as Hunter was able to make the strip of the football right before Maurice Traylor, the junior Walter Welburn running back, was able to get into the end zone.
When he had the football on the inside arm, he should have swapped it over.
Man in motion as there's the pitch and a loose football as picking it up is the quarterback in Carson Sanders as Jayden Sigler wasn't able to field that errant pitch. As we'll take another look.
Well, it was a missed opportunity right there. He made a good pitch. Guy just took his eyes off the football. It was a little bit high, but still it was catchable. I think he kind of saw the outside linebacker coming up.
Outside linebacker and Braden Horton that time almost able to get the recovery.
Absolutely. I mean, we call that alligator arms. He developed alligator arms when he saw him coming up.
So third down as the keeper for Sanders, or check that the counter give. I was fooled out on that play as a nice play designed, but Walter Welburn wasn't fooled as Tuio Losega took the carry and went nowhere.
Now, I guarantee you Coach Smith going to give him a pass on the first one, but after this, and I don't mean a literal pass, but a pass for fumbling that football, but after this, hey, he probably going to jump into him.
Justice Williams ready to return the punt from Ethan Jones. Still no score here in the opening quarter. Jones, a line drive punt as Williams picks it up now about the 33. Moves it back upfield and gets some yardage, a little bit of yardage. Nice job, however, by the Ohatchee special teams as they're able to minimize that return. And the clock stops with just over 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. So now Walter Welburn gets a chance to try and redeem what was a promising opening drive as we saw they got into the red zone. And then Maurice Traylor was just maybe a stride away from putting that ball in the end zone before Gus Hunter knocked it out.
Right, and they know they can run the football, so you'll probably see much of the same.
And something that was a key that Coach Jeff Smith told me, Eddie, for his offense tonight, production on first down. Walter Welburn now goes into the shotgun. Here comes the give to the near side as Zane Hill tries to turn the corner. Good positioning, however, by Tuio Losega as he comes up from his cornerback spot to make the stop. Taking a look at the rest of the Ohatchee defense, Dallin Sigler and Jayden Sigler, the outside backers. Ethan Jones, Fisher Connell, the inside linebackers, and then Carson Sanders and Phoenix, Tuio Losega are the corners. Braden Bennett, Alston Carroll are the safeties. 6-yard gain for Zane Hill on that first down run. Keeper for Isaiah Amberson as he stood up right around the 45-yard line and then thrown back as his forward progress will move it back to about the 45-yard line as the inside linebacker Ethan Jones on the stop. So third down. They'll say the line to gain about the 49 or about the 46-yard line. So third down and 1 coming up. Under 2 minutes to go, opening quarter. The city of Ohatchee brings us our opening quarter. See what Jeff Smith has in mind here for this third down call. And it's the give up the middle and big running room for the first down as Caden Horton on the carry. So he was able to get that football across midfield to the Ohatchee 43-yard line for the first down. No passes so far for Walter Welburn on either of their drives as Justice Williams, one of the few seniors for Coach Jeff Smith and the Panthers of Walter Welburn, comes back out on the field.
You're probably not going to see it either, James. That's typical Coach Jeff Smith. He's going to run the football until you either put him in a situation schematically where he has to throw it or third and long or something like that. As long as he can run that football, he like Vince Lombardi. He's old school. He's just going to run it till you stop it.
Braden Horton on the carry from his fullback spot for just a couple. So second down upcoming as we'll have a reserve offensive lineman check in for the Panthers.
And that's something unusual I noticed. They keep sending him in. He keep taking the plays in. I've never seen a team use an offensive lineman to take the play into the quarterback.
Juan Hernandez into the game along the offensive line. Here's Caden Horton off the right side as he almost broke through and able to get another Walter Welborn first down. From about the 41 to the 24, so a gain of 17 on second and long. Take another look. Good vision by Caden Horton as he was able to advance the sticks for the Panthers. Maybe one more play in the cards in this first quarter. A City of Ohatchee first quarter for Walter Welborn. Panthers now out of the huddle at 7.
They found some on that right side.
Amberson on the give. Caden Horton snakes his way through, plows his way inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. A red zone trip coming up for Walter Welborn as we conclude the first quarter of play. A big thanks to the City of Ohatchee for bringing us our first quarter. Walter Welborn trying to get on the board as we'll see if they can do so to begin the second quarter after this timeout.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Team has gotten on the board, but Walter Welborn is on the move as they are in the red zone. And, of course, our red zone trips tonight brought to you by Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency, covering Calhoun and Talladega counties, and our second quarter by Advantage Tire. Advantage Tire in alignment, not too far, about an extra point kick away from the Hill and Jeff Smith Field on Highway 202. So, second down and short coming up after Caden Horton had a 9-yard gain. Walter Welborn, they've been able to move the ball on the ground pretty much at will. However, a Gus Hunter forced fumble and a recovery in the end zone for the Indians was able to stop a potential touchdown drive on Walter Welborn's opening drive in the first quarter. Amberson plows his way up the middle, and he gets the first down. And let's see, and he gets out of the pile that time and just strolls his way on in for the touchdown. Very nice job by Isaiah Amberson, the quarterback, as he's able to just rumble his way in from 15 yards out.
Well, he just kept his feet moving. I mean, they're not wrapping up on tackles, so, they piled up and, he kind of took the initial contact and no panic, no worry. Hey, I got this.
So, Walter Welborn on the board first. A 15-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Amberson. As it appears that they'll go for two, will Walter Welborn. Here's the direct snap to Traylor as he fumbles, but gets it back in. Hey, no worries. I got this taken care of. Traylor for the 2-point conversion.
Absolutely. He just fumbled the football and he redirected.
Let's take this time out as Walter Welborn on the board now up 8-0.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Walter Welburn able to get a 15-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Amberson, followed by Maurice Traylor's 2-point conversion run. After bobbling the snap, actually dropping the snap, but he was able to calmly pick it up on the bounce and then just roll his way on in for the 2-point conversion. Here comes the Chef T's kickoff for Walter Welburn. As towing things up is Caden Horton. Phoenix Tuio Losega deep to receive. 770-4683 the number for Chef T's as Tuio Losega roams to the near side. He has running room across the 40 and then lowers the shoulder and popped out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. A good hit that time by Braden Horton for the special teams tackle.
Yeah, they just got out their lanes right there. That was you shouldn't have that big of a gap. They all should avoid it to the left.
First down upcoming. Advantaged higher in alignment on Highway 202 brings to you our second quarter. Carson Sanders, 4 touchdowns passing in both of the Ohatchee wins so far this season. Gets the high snap, and he'll give off to Gus Hunter, and he gets swarmed under about the line of scrimmage, but his strength able to carry about 4 black shirts, including Caden Horton, who's able to lead the way on the tackle.
That high snap counter threw the play off a little bit right there.
So second down upcoming. Also a big thanks to FNN Bank that's provided a season-long coverage for us here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week for Season 15. Always been money in the bank for our folks across our FNN coverage area with service, solutions, and strength. Second and long. Just 1 minute and change into the second quarter as Tuio Losega with a convoy off the left side turns the corner and gets the first down and nearly able to take it to the house as he's run out of bounds into Walter Welburn territory inside the 40.
And James, if you watch, they're going to seal off this whole side right here.
Look at all of those white shirts, Eddie, around the corner, and good job of Tuio Losega of just allowing those blocks to develop as he advances the football inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. That's a gain of 21 yards on first down. The ugly eagle set. Another high snap as Hunter tries to bounce it out and has running room as he turns the corner. Lowers the shoulder as Caden Horton has to ride him out of bounds, but not before another first down run.
Well, and they sealed outside again. Webb does not have an outside contained, so, the cornerback went inside, and he needs to turn it back inside.
And there you see the long run for Gus Hunter that gets the football inside the 20-yard line. So for Ohatchee, this is their first red zone opportunity of the night, courtesy of Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency.
And you're talking 2 plays, a good kick return, and 2 plays, and they're in the red zone.
Sanders on the give to Hunter as he's wrapped up in the backfield as you see a couple, maybe 3 black shirts that time lead the way on the stop. Number 58, and Dalton Dillard leads the way on the tackle.
And, James, if I'm Ohatchee, I'm going east to west with that buck sweep that they're running because they're having a lot of success with it. Webber does not have good run support from the corners. So, you can't run directly at them because you're not having success. So, if I'm making that call, hey, I'm going to the outside. If you look and see, the cornerback is already beat by a lineman. He's lined up on the inside right there.
Here's the pass toward the end zone and a bit high from Sanders and incomplete. Intended to believe for Tuio Losega. Has good coverage in the back end defensively. J.D. Talley on the coverage for Walter Welburn. So third down and long upcoming. So third down and looks like a goal to go situation from the 9. And of course, 4 down territory here. So let's see what Blake Jennings has in mind as far as how he wants to go about this third and goal.
Well, they beat again up top, James, by a lineman. If you look, the cornerback is on the inside right there. So
Sanders on the give. And looks as if Jayden Sigler on the carry as he'll get to about the 7, maybe the 6-yard line. So 4th down and goal. And remember, Walter Welburn has already gotten a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the board. So it appears that Ohatchee wants to try and answer that touchdown +2 with a touchdown of their own. Play clock at 20 seconds for Ohatchee on this 4th down and goal. As we've played almost 3 minutes of the second quarter. See if Advantage Tire and Alignment can carry, or I guess tow, the Ohatchee offense into the end zone, as Blake Jennings wants to take a little bit more time and think about it as he'll call a timeout. 4th and goal coming up, as we'll step aside for this timeout here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
On the west side of Anniston tonight, as the Ohatchee Indians have a 4th down awaiting them inside the 10-yard line. They're down 8-0. 9:04 to go until halftime. As the Ohatchee looking to put this one in the end zone. Gus Hunter, the lone setback. Sanders awaits the snap. He'll roll. Now wants to throw it back. Has a receiver and held on to, I believe, and yes, a touchdown for Ohatchee as Alston Carroll, the tight end, reels in the grab. We'll take another look, a deserved look for Alston Carroll at this outstanding diving grab. A favorite play of Ohatchee's, that throwback pass to the tight end as Carroll goes full extension for the touchdown. PAT try for Anthony Garcia as we have a late Indian coming out onto the field. No harm, no foul there. As the play clock now just starting. Snap and holder there, and the kick, that is up, and that is good. So we'll take the timeout. 8-7. Walter Welburn on top. 8:59 to go until halftime. You're watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome to Calhoun County, Alabama, your natural attraction. We have invigorating outdoor activities, amazing cultural sites, mouth-watering food, and southern hospitality, all wrapped into one amazing vacation destination. Whether you're looking for a relaxing overnight getaway or for a one-of-a-kind escapade, Calhoun County boasts an incredible selection of outdoor recreational opportunities. Calhoun County is the natural attraction, centrally located between Atlanta and Birmingham, with plenty of fun and memories waiting to be made. Come to Calhoun County, Alabama, a natural attraction.
It's the game of the week on FNN.
8-7, Walter Welburn on top as Chef Tees serves up this kickoff for Ohatchee. But before that, hold everything. The officials stop play as it appears there's a flag on the play. In fact, right around where the kickoff occurred. A big thanks to Chef Tees on Highway 431. on the northern outskirts of Anniston. Big thanks to all of our sponsors for joining us this evening. Also, Advantage Tire and Alignment, our second quarter. And, of course, with the hard hitting and the festivities pregame with Jeff Smith having the field honored after him. A little party atmosphere today, so the bags of ice, the popcorn, the Oleo donuts, bring them all here to Walter Wellborn High School from our friends at the Grub Mart. And both teams will definitely need those stock of ice following tonight's physical battle. Already quickly through a quarter and almost a half a quarter, as there's the end-over-end kick on the Chef T's kickoff. Walter Wellborn's going to get some really good field position as Traylor gets tripped up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. So that was a good response, and I'll tell you what, you look at that catch, Eddie, from Alston Carroll. That was a Saturday or a Sunday grab that he made to get Ohatchee on the board.
Absolutely. He laid out, I got it, pulled it in,
And now Walter Wellborn will try and respond here. They still have the lead, but Ohatchee with the momentum. Isaiah Amberson has a touchdown rushing tonight, as he'll give up the middle to the big fullback in Braden Horton as he'll somersault his way close to and does, I believe, have the first down. Walter Wellborn's been successful up the middle around that right side of the offensive line so far tonight. It's been Braden Horton, Zane Hill, and also Caden Horton that have got the majority of carries. Maurice Traylor also almost got a touchdown rushing in the first quarter. Here's the keeper for Amberson as he's bottled up right around the line of scrimmage.
almost looked like a busted play.
In fact, he might be right on that, as it appeared the fake, and nobody fooled that time as Tripp Nunnally on the stop. So they'll spot the football at the Walter Wellborn 46-yard line. A 1-point margin in favor of Walter Wellborn. The field honored for Coach Jeff Smith prior to tonight's game. There's the give off the right side as taken down. First time for Jakeem Kirby to get a carry this evening, as he's the fifth different player to get a carry for Walter Wellborn tonight. As he'll check out, and back in comes Maurice Traylor. A solid gain of about 3 yards or so, just shy of midfield. There's a third down upcoming. Actually, a third and long. They say only about a couple. So Amberson on the roll, stops, and now cuts it upfield as he runs over a defender, but gets pushed back across a midfield as his forward progress stopped at the 49-yard line. What would you do here, Eddie, on this fourth down right around midfield?
I don't know. With the way Ohatchee ran the ball last time, I'm probably going to punt the football and try to flip the field.
So Caden Horton, the normal punting duties, but it appears that Isaiah Amberson's going to stay out on the field. 6:37 and counting here in the opening half.
Now, Wellborn is very much capable of converting, but I wouldn't want to give Ohatchee that kind of field position.
Play clock down to 6 as Jeff Smith wants and gets a timeout. We'll take the timeout with him. 8-7 in favor of Walter Wellborn as we take this timeout here on the FNN Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today. A big play early in this ball game, almost halfway through the
through the second quarter as Walter Welborn has a 1-point lead and looks as if that Coach Jeff Smith is going to make a safe call here, and he's just going to punt it away. So Braden Horton comes out to punt.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. I would try to flip the field.
Able to get a solid punt off, a knuckleball punt that almost comes to a stop at the 25 and gets about 3 or 4 more yards to about the 21-yard line. First down and 10 upcoming. As Ohatchee will now have an opportunity if they can drive the field here to take their first lead of the ball game, as they were able to score on a 4th and goal pass from the 6. A great diving catch by Alston Carroll as Carson Sanders is able to get his first touchdown pass of the night. Advantage Tire in alignment on Highway 202. An outstanding place to take your vehicle. Brings us our second quarter. Sanders drops back. He wants to go over the middle and had his receiver, but it goes in and out of the hands of Tuio Losega, incomplete. Tuio Losega in one of their 2 wins this season for Ohatchee against Donahoe, 162 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns, so he certainly has some big playability on the outside for the Ohatchee Indians.
He had him wide open.
We'll hear later on as far as from Coach Blake Jennings when we get an opportunity as far as just how the players have adjusted going back to the Ugly Eagle offense. But right now, a second down and 10. Here's Gus Hunter as he'll skip out of some initial traffic, but he's not going to go very far as he's taken down at around the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by a couple of a linebacker and defensive lineman, Tristan Crossley, the nose guard, and Caden Horton, the linebacker. So third down upcoming is going to be long, just a couple of yards on that run by Gus Hunter, so third down and 8. Line to reach for the first down is the 31-yard line. Tuio Losega brings the play in from the far sideline. Play clock down to 10 as now Ohatchee gets out of the huddle.
Watch for the screens and draws. Watch for the screen.
Sanders drops back, throws to the far side, and that's reeled in for the first down. Or no, incomplete. I thought initially that the wingback in Phoenix, Tuio Losega, was going to haul this one in, but just goes through his hands, or check that, the tight end Coleman Fowler. I tell you what, that was actually a pretty good throw that time by Carson Sanders.
Well, but when you know it's third and long, James, the inside linebackers look for screens and draws, and the cornerback's supposed to know where the first down markers are. He gave him almost a 7-yard cushion behind the first down marker, so, I mean, that's an easy throw.
Ethan Jones back to punt. And then Justice Williams to return. Rush comes. There's a low line drive. That gets a nice Ohatchee roll as Williams wisely lets it go by and gets fielded by the Ohatchee special teams at the 38-yard line. So first down and 10 upcoming as a low-scoring battle. Not unexpected, certainly, as both of these teams trying to notch an important region win tonight. For Walter Welborn, they can win tonight, and then on the road at Locust Fork, they would highly likely get into the postseason at a 3A Region 6. And then Ohatchee basically has to win out the rest of the way. Here's the quick give, a jet sweep handoff as reversing field is Zane Hill as he gets into the secondary, gets the first down and a lot more as he zigzags his way across that far side of the field into Ohatchee territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, he ran 50 yards, James. He came this way, then he went back across, and then he came back across. Then he reverses there and come back across.
Like he's making his way through a corn maze this time of the year.
Right, he ran 60 yards to get 20.
So, first down and 10 for the Walter Welborn Panthers. Amberson going to give off to his fullback, Braden Horton. He barrels his way through across the first down marker to the 31-yard line.
That's his imitation of Scatterboo.
Indeed. We've seen the power a few times for Braden Horton so far tonight as he powers his way to the 31 for a Panthers first down. You look at the Walter Welborn offense, a stark difference in their wins and losses. 6 points per game in their 2 losses, almost 40 in their 3 wins. And so far, they've been able to move the football at ease in all of their drives.
Well, and most importantly, you know, they absolutely want to try to score on this drive before halftime.
Amberson rolls to the near side, wants to run, and uses his blocking very well to get to the 25-yard line. It appeared initially that Ohatchee had that play corralled, but Isaiah Amberson showed some patience and able to find the hole that he got to get some solid yardage.
Well, Amberson going to have to go down, too, either, you know, get out of bounds and a little bit quicker because he took a shot right there at the end, and when you standing up, hey, you're not a defenseless player. You free game when you're running that football.
Second down and about 4. Amberson to Traylor. Traylor wrapped up and taken down for about a yard or 2. So they'll mark the football at the 23-yard line. But third down and short coming up as that clock almost at 3.5 minutes to go until halftime. Walter Welborn trying to find their way to pad their 1-point advantage. They have a 15-yard touchdown run from Isaiah Amberson early in this quarter. Third and short. Here's the give up the middle as that's Zane Hill, it appears, as he gets the first down with ease. Into the red zone, so that means the third red zone trip of the night for Walter Welborn. Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency, who serves Calhoun and Talladega counties, presents our red zone trips.
Now, Hatcher does a great job by alignment, getting somebody out to maintain, contain. That's the opposite of Welborn. Welborn cornerbacks are in tight.
Here's Caden Horton off right in as he gets off a couple of tacklers and now taken down. Not before, though, he gets the first down and sets up a first down and goal at the 4-yard line. One of the defensive backs had been Braden Bennett that was able to save the touchdown. As Ohatchee will make a substitution defensively as a first and goal upcoming inside the 5. Walter Welborn, a big opportunity to at least make this what would be a 7-point advantage. Tight formation. Amberson goes under center. And he'll give an easy does it for Zane Hill as he gets his first touchdown of the night. And Walter Welborn, off of that 4-yard scamper by Hill, takes a 7-point advantage. So great blocking on that left side of the offensive line as you had Colt Quinn along with Parker Williams and Jaden Henniger lead the way for Zane Hill, who was able to score from 4 yards out.
Well, they went old school then. They went the triple T formation.
Yeah, the full house backfield that time.
Yeah.
And same deal here on the 2-point try. The keeper for Amberson lowers that shoulder. Is he in? And yes, he is for the 2-point conversion. So Isaiah Amberson shows his physicality as we go to this timeout. 2:10 to go until halftime. It's Walter Welborn 16 and Ohatchee 7.
It's game day, and from all of us at Bucks Island,
from the Loft Tackle Store,
from the team in service,
from the team in parts,
from the sales team,
from the Bucks Island family. Good luck and go get 'em, boys.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I-AM-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
Walter Welborn able to power their way down the field. And also with the Amberson 2-point conversion following the Zane Hill 4-yard touchdown run, they doubled their 8-point total going into that touchdown drive, and they're now up 16-7. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock with you. Shasta Jones on the sidelines as the Chef T's kickoff coming up.
Now, James, I tell you, in situations like this, when I was head coach, I was greedy right here. I kick it deep. You got 2 timeouts. I'm going to get a stop on the first one, and then I'm going to call timeout, make them punt the football.
Great coverage on Tuio Losega by the coverage unit for Walter Welborn as they're able to bottle him up at the 25-yard line. So that's where Ohatchee begins this drive as they were able to get a 4th and goal from the 6. A touchdown pass from Carson Sanders to tight end Alston Carroll, along with the Anthony Garcia extra point to get the Indians on the board. And now Ohatchee, they could use a touchdown drive here to get back at least a bit closer, down 9. Still some time as far as trying to move this ball 75 yards.
Absolutely. You want them to throw it one time so it help you out. You don't have to burn it. Oh, yeah, that's what you want them to do.
Sanders steps up, getting chased down, and a flag on the play as he's wrapped up is Sanders at the 30, but I think this one's coming back. We haven't heard very much from our referee in Cecil Garrison tonight as he does indicate the hold. One of the least penalized halves we've seen so far this season.
I think, what, 2? 2 penalties?
I think you're right, just a handful of penalties. There's Cecil Garrison with that indication of the hold. So they'll mark that football back inside the 20. And they'll spot the football at the 15-yard line. Clock under 2 minutes to go until halftime. Sanders awaits the snap. Tuio Losega in motion as now the dump down pass is knocked in the air and incomplete off the hands of Jayden Sigler. So 2nd down and long upcoming. And Jeff Smith thinking about what you mentioned, Eddie, still with a couple of timeouts. They still have an opportunity to stop this clock and maybe come up and sneak in a late score of their own before halftime.
Absolutely. You don't want to, as long as they throwing it, you don't call timeout, you know. You don't call timeout. As long as they incomplete pass or they go out of bounds, you say the timeout.
2nd down and long. Sanders with Tuio Losega in motion as the Jets sweep to Tuio Losega. Follows the blocking around the corner. And he goes out of bounds just beyond the 30 at the 31-yard line. So that does stop the clock with 1:29 to go. A 3rd down and 4 awaits Ohatchee. So that was a good play on 2nd down to at least have a more manageable 3rd down coming up for the Indians offense.
Right, but you want to get a stop right here and immediately get a timeout. So, you know, if I'm on defense right here's a time, I'm going to send the house at them.
Brett Favre always said at the 2-minute drill, the key getting 1st downs and moving your offense. 3rd and 4. Here's the give. Sigler finds room up the middle, gets the 1st down, and more as he breaks out of a tackle. He's being chased down by Kirby and finally wrestled down at the 40-yard line. That's a good run to stop the clock to move the chains with 1:18 to go until halftime. That is a gain of 29.
That's a great run. He broke 2 tackles right there, and if Welborn didn't have the speed that they have, it might be looking at a 1-point game.
1 timeout at the disposal of Ohatchee. Sanders rolls, sets up the throwback screen complete to Sigler. As he gets popped, stays on his feet, though, and now taken down at about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line as we go under a minute to go until halftime, and it appears that Blake Jennings wants and does use his timeout. And let's step aside, or at least as far as hearing from our coaches this week, as we heard, took our FNN microphones and heard from Coach Blake Jennings as far as just how his offense has adjusted to going back to the Ugly Eagle this season.
You know, again, you get in a season and you're working toward, winning a game. And, I hope I'm taking enough time to appreciate it. Yes, having both sons here coaching with me is wonderful. My daughter teaches here. Of course, my wife works here, and, it's real special. And, again, I hope I'm taking time enough to enjoy it.
Coach Jeff Smith on just the impact as far as being a very integral part, he and his family, of this Walter Wellborn community. As there you see the clock stop with under a minute to go until halftime. 52 seconds left as Blake Jennings and his Ohatchee Indians offense on the move. As they had a holding penalty that moved them back to the 15-yard line, but they've been able to move the football with a couple of big chunk plays inside the Walter Wellborn 35. Also, a big thanks for our season-long coverage by our friends at the Calhoun County Commission. Of course, a longtime friends of ours, including Danny Shears, as well as the rest of the Calhoun County Commission. Back to action here at Jeff Smith Field, a second down and medium. Sanders pump fakes, plenty of time, and now steps up and goes down maybe for a yard gain, as that clock is going to continue to run. No timeouts for Ohatchee. So hurry up time for the Indians. Third down. Offense gets set. And the spike that by Carson Sanders, so that'll at least allow Ohatchee to be able to gather their breath. But that means fourth down's coming up, Eddie.
Absolutely. I mean, if he don't get the first down, hey, it's halftime.
That's absolutely right. So in this case, 4 yards to go to get that first down, or just, in fact, exactly the 30-yard line that Ohatchee needs to keep their offense on the field. Fourth down. Sanders fakes, loads up, throws down the field, and incomplete. The nearest player to that ball was Zane Hill, the safety. So a turnover on downs as Walter Wellborn takes over first down and 10. And Walter Wellborn, they'll take over as far as the opening kickoff to begin the third quarter.
And I'll tell you what, James, theoretically with 21 seconds left, you should be able to get 3 plays in. You average about 6 seconds on quick hitters, so you should be able to get about 3 plays in. So, hey, I would take me 3 quick shots, but look like they're going to the victory.
Yeah, the kneel down for Amberson, as he'll just take the knee, and that should take them into halftime. We'll hear from our Shasta Jones here momentarily, as I believe we will catch up with Coach Jeff Smith prior to the Panthers going to the halftime locker room. In fact, seeing Shasta awaiting for Coach Jeff Smith, and Coach Smith just about and now ready for us with Shasta Jones.
Coach Smith, the Panthers came out roaring tonight. Amberson, Hill putting touchdowns on the board for you already. What do you need them to do this second half to solidify the W tonight?
Well, we had a couple of drives we didn't score on. We got to finish out all our drives right there. Again, keep on working and win first down on both sides of the ball.
Well, good luck this second half.
Thank you so much.
We're going to send it back to you, James.
Thank you, Shasta. Thank you, Coach Smith, as we'll take the timeout. It's halftime from Jeff Smith Field at the Hill as Walter Wellborn leads Ohatchee 16-7.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
On the dedication night of Jeff Smith Field, Walter Wellborn doing their part in the first half as they're up 16-7 at halftime. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, and our FNN crew with you as we'll let you hear from the Ohatchee Marching Band at halftime.
Did you know Kona Ice can help you fundraise for your school? It's true. It's quick, it's easy, and the kids absolutely love having Kona Ice. We'll let you in on a little secret. Teachers love it too. So, how can we help you fundraise this year? It's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and teachers love it too.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
From the Hill at Jeff Smith Field at halftime, the Calhoun County Commission presents our halftime coverage on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy with you, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, Jim Jacobs, our FNN crew. And I like this little combo as far as the note that we'll hear musically down on the field from Walter Welburn. But you throw in Jackson News first half totals, and I think that's just the right balance as far as our halftime report here, presented by our friends at the Calhoun County Commission. So, of course, Jackson, when you talk about Ohatchee and Walter Welburn, we're going to have a lot of running, not a lot of passing, but we did see some nice plays in the passing game that did result in some points for Ohatchee in that first half.
For sure. I mean, Carson Sanders, he's hit his receivers in stride a couple times as well, and there's been drop passes. So definitely got to get him more involved in the passing game because he has an incredible arm. Only 3 completions, 20 yards, but he hit Austin Carroll on that beautiful touchdown pass to get him on the board. As well as I like to see Gus Hunt in the second half as well. 9 carries, 74 yards. And then number 5, Phoenix, 2 carries, 37 yards. He's been amazing on the 2 pop passes they threw to him. Jaden Siegler, 2 carries, 32 yards. Also been amazing.
So there you go, our first half totals. And then, of course, the scoring plays that of one for Ohatchee that Jackson mentioned, the Alston Carroll highlight reel touchdown grab from Carson Sanders on 4th and goal. And you also had Isaiah Amberson that was able to score from 15 yards out, and Zane Hill that scored from 4 yards out. And most importantly, something that may get overlooked in this type of ball game, 2 successful 2-point conversions from Walter Welburn has gotten them into a 2-score advantage.
For sure. I mean, if somebody asked me, what's the typical Jeff Smith game, I would show him the film of this game. I mean, he's had 5 different guys carry the football already in this first half. I mean, Amberson, 5 carries, 31 yards and a touchdown. Braden Horton, 5 carries, 52 yards. Zane Hill's also been absolutely phenomenal. Only 5 carries, but he's put 68 yards on the ground and 2 long touchdowns. I mean, 1 long touchdown, but he's had some break-off plays as well. And then number 14, Caden Horton, also 4 carries, 40 yards.
And by the way, Maurice Traylor and Isaiah Amberson both with 2-point conversion runs.
And also Maurice Taylor had the touchdown that he got knocked out barely as he crossed the goal line there.
So at halftime, it is Walter Welburn 16 and Ohatchee 7. And let's send it down to the field and hear more from the Walter Welburn Marching Band. Yes. Wellborn marching band here at halftime on a festive night at the Hill at Jeff Smith Field, as the field honored in at least memory, the living memory, that is, of course, of Coach Jeff Smith, approaching 20 seasons as the head coach of the Walter Wellborn Panthers, as we take a look at some of our first half highlights. And it was exclusively on the ground, as Caden Horton got some big carries early in that first quarter to get the Walter Wellborn offense in rhythm. And then Horton off that right side again, able to escape a couple tackles and advance the football into Ohatchee territory. And then early second quarter, Isaiah Amberson able to bust through and get the Panthers on the board. 2-point conversion made it 8-0 in favor of Walter Wellborn. Walter Wellborn has led for at least the entire game, starting with that first touchdown. As Phoenix Tuiolosega, probably the best athlete on the Ohatchee squad, able to get a couple of big plays in that first half on special teams. And then Carson Sanders with the give to Tuiolosega. He had a couple of big runs also on that jet sweep off the left side of the offensive line that got the Indians into scoring position. Gus Hunter also a quality first half. And as you heard Shasta early in the first half, Gus Hunter's been banged up for much of the season, playing with a couple of protective elements tonight for Ohatchee. He was able to get the football into the red zone. And then I think this is the fourth down call, one of the favorite plays for Coach Blake Jennings on 3rd and 4th and long. And look at this catch by Carrolls. He goes full extension. We'd see that catch on Saturdays or Sundays, as that one got Ohatchee on the board. And this was an opportunity on 3rd down for Fowler, the tight end, to reel it in, but not able to do so, as Ohatchee had to punt. And then this is another solid drive as Zane Hill reverses field off of that jet sweep handoff, as he was able to get a big chunk play. And that got the football close to the Ohatchee 40. A few plays later, Zane Hill on 1st and goal, able to motor his way into the end zone. And then the 2-point conversion, able to get Walter Wellborn on top by their present margin, up by 9, 16-7. We are awaiting Coach Blake Jennings to join Shasta Jones along the sideline, as Ohatchee just getting out of the halftime locker room. In fact, I see Coach Jennings as we're awaiting to get Coach Jennings to our microphones. And now let's send it down to Shasta Jones with Ohatchee coach Blake Jennings.
Coach Jennings, this first half, your offense, Gus Hunter and Carroll, they ran, they caught some passes, but what has your O-line got to do to open it up for them to catch more passes and for Hunter to be able to run through this next half?
I think it's one of those things offensively. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, because we've seen some good stuff on film and just making sure we hit the right holes as running backs, and the offensive line, playing a little bit lower. And that's really what it boils down to for us.
And what has your D-line got to do now to stop the Wellborn offense?
It's more about us just tackling. We have not done a very good job tackling tonight. tonight. We've been right there on them, just like the quarterback sneak that turned into a touchdown. You know, we've got 8 guys right there on him, it looks like, and then boom, he pops out there for a touchdown. So we got to do a better job of tackling. If we do that, we got a good chance to win this ball game.
Well, good luck the second half.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
Thank you. We're going to send it back to you, James.
Thank you, Shasta. Thank you, Coach Blake Jennings. And Eddie, just listening to Coach Blake Jennings, it sounds like he told his team in the locker room, hey, we're not that far out of this ball game, but we've got to stop beating ourselves along the line of scrimmage.
On the line of scrimmage, you know, both teams got to do a better job at tackling, but it boils down to which offensive line weighing in the trenches.
So far, Walter Wellborn has never trailed tonight. And Walter Wellborn gets the football. And so I imagine Coach Smith is telling his team, if we score, we've got control of this ball game.
Absolutely. You want to punch that first one in. You know, you want to make a statement drive right here, you know, coming out, you know. It's not imperative, but it's very crucial that they do something with this drive, either flip the field or, you know, put up some points.
And you look at the region standings coming in, Glencoe and Walter Wellborn tied for third at 3-1, but Glencoe already has shut out Walter Wellborn about a month ago up at Glencoe. So they have that tiebreaker advantage. So right now, Glencoe on top at halftime easily against Sachs at home, just not too far away up in Etowah County. And so if Walter Wellborn can hold on, they can at least keep pace with Glencoe for that third spot.
And Pennington is in the race as well, but Wellborn has a tiebreaker on Pennington too. So, you know, they're in good shape.
So when you look at the schedule down the stretch for Walter Wellborn in the regular season and region play, they still have games at Westbrook Christian at the end of the year, and the week before that right here at Jeff Smith Field against Piedmont, but they're at Locust Fork next week. So assuming that Walter Wellborn can hold on, if they beat Locust Fork next week, you can pretty much punch their ticket into the postseason.
Absolutely, and that's what I was about to say earlier. You know, with them having a tiebreak, only one loss and a tiebreak over Pennington, you know, even if they were to do what you just mentioned, you know, they pretty much in there.
So it'd be a nice bounce-back season for Walter Wellborn after narrowly missing the playoffs last year. Remember, they started off the season 5-0, and then due to injuries and other factors, they lost their last 4. And due to that skid at the end of the season, they missed a rare miss for them when it comes to Walter Wellborn in the postseason.
Well, I've been on both sides of that, James, and that's just a heartbreak. I've been started off 4-0, finished 4-3. And missed the playoffs, and you know I started off with a losing record and ended up winning 4 games and actually getting in the playoffs. So I've been on both sides of that coin.
And don't forget, folks, as far as our FNN schedule this week, of course, Tuesday night, as always, is our FNN Coaches Show from Top of the River on the north side of Anniston. Jim Jacobs, yours truly, and Joe Medley. As there you see, from 7 to 8:30, we'll talk the best of high school football, as well as talking with coaches, players, and, of course, awarding our Player of the Week, courtesy of our friends at the Talladega Short Track. Another Chef T's kickoff on the way, as we are about to begin the second half. Our third quarter brought to you by Wise Environmental. Roll-offs, liquid vacuuming, portable restrooms, VIP restrooms, showers, laundry trailers, festival support services, and more from Wise Environmental, as you can visit them at www.wiseenviro.com. Chef T's about to serve up an Ohatchee kickoff, and you got to figure they need to get this stop on defense. We talked about it with Jackson while you were away, Eddie. Sometimes it gets overlooked. Those two-point conversions that Walter Wellborn were able to successfully convert right now, that factor's large in this game.
Huge.
Short kick, that goes well out of bounds. Not sure what that was about, as that goes well into the stands at the far side.
Well, I'm thinking onside kick, but, I mean, do you really want to put Wellborn at the 50-yard line? That's where the ball went out at. So, you know, I'm going to take that there, and, you know, you only got to go 50 yards to score. So you're already in great field position.
So Anthony Garcia basically just punched that into the far sideline. They'll spot the football at the Ohatchee 48-yard line. So even an onside kick, that did not travel the necessary distance.
Well, it was a 5-yard kick. That's probably the shortest kick I've seen in my history of coaching.
Here's Amberson on the give right up the gut to Braden Horton as he mows his way to about the 43. Short gain that time for the Walter Welborn fullback. Coming back in is Justice Williams, the wide receiver. We have not seen a pass, of course, not unexpected from Walter Welborn, especially when they're ahead. And now you'll have a shotgun look for Amberson. That's the fullback, Braden Horton, alongside him. Here's the keeper, Amberson. Reverses field, stays on his feet, and he gets thrown up in the air, and he'll be softly landed as the whistles blow the play dead at around the 40-yard line.
Well, and he got to tuck that football, too, because they're getting hands on it, but he's trying to out-muscle them with one arm. You know, hey, when you get in traffic, you always cover that football with two hands. That's just fundamental.
Fisher Connell, as well as a couple of other Ohatchee Indians. Sawyer Beagle help out on the tackle. 3rd down and 5. Full house backfield. Trailer, lots of running room on the right side as he explodes into the secondary. He's off to the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown.
Well, Ohatchee have trouble with speed right there, but you can see that they seal off the edge on the outside. And
we'll take another look at a 40-yard sprint by Maurice Trailer.
You're going to see two great blocks over here, and you got one, and you got a kick out right there, and the rest is on him, and just too much speed.
First touchdown of the night for Trailer, as that puts Walter Welborn up 22-7. 2-point try. As going off the right side, Trailer for his second 2-point conversion run. So that puts Walter Welborn up now 24-7 as we'll take the timeout here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
From the Hill on the campus of Walter Welborn High School, Jeff Smith Field dedication night as well for the Walter Welborn football program. As Walter Welborn at 3-2 on the season, looking to get their 4th victory overall and in region play, as we'll have a Chef T's kickoff served up by Caden Horton for Walter Welborn. So far, the Panthers have had the necessary ingredients to produce a winning recipe so far through 2+ quarters. Kickoff bounces to Tuio Losega. Has some running room off the right side. Still on his feet as he tumbles down across the 35 at about the 36-yard line. And now this becomes a drive for Ohatchee. They're pretty much in a must-score drive here, Eddie.
Absolutely. If you're Welborn, you want to get a stop right here because the clock is going to run. Not going to throw that many passes right now.
Yeah, not especially of 3 scores or the Panthers of Walter Welborn. Now, if Glencoe, I mentioned, up big over Sachs at halftime. If they win, which they likely will at this point, and Ohatchee loses, Ohatchee will not be going into postseason play. Tuio Losega on the jet sweep give as he's swarmed under at about the line of scrimmage as you had Jakeem Kirby recognize that play very well as far as the middle linebacker Brady Greenwood. They'll spot the football right about the line of scrimmage for no gain. Early third quarter. Traylor, as well as Amberson and Zane Hill with touchdown runs for Walter Welborn. And then Carson Sanders, a touchdown pass from 6 yards to Alston Carroll, the tight end. Second and long.
See, they outflanked up top, and the cornerback down here is wasted.
Here's Hurd as he stood up maybe a yard across the line of scrimmage. Good a job that time positioning by Braden Horton of getting himself in position to make that tackle.
I believe that ball came out then, James. I think they might have blew it prematurely, but looked like you got a rip up there at the top on that football.
Third down and long. The line to reach for the first down, their own 46 for Ohatchee. Also, a pleasant weather evening. Should be getting into the low 50s around their area by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Should have temperatures in the low 60s by the time we're done tonight. Third down. Sanders tosses, has a receiver complete for the first down. That's Tuiolosega as he stretches across the 46 to about the 45 to keep this drive alive. And there you see Tuiolosega able to get himself free over the middle. And the tackle made, you had Traylor, but also coming up from the secondary spot for Walter Welborn was Demarion Tippins.
Well, just nobody in the middle. That right there, it was a big hole in the middle. He just found the spot and
gain of 17 on third down and 8. First down now at the Walter Welborn 46. Give it to Hurd. Not much there. May get back to the line of scrimmage. Better pursuit along the line of scrimmage that time as Greenwood and company able to at least stuff the running play for no gain. So second down, looking ahead for both of these teams after tonight. Next week at Locust Fork for Walter Welborn. And then for Ohatchee, they will close out their home schedule next week against Glencoe. Here's Sanders on the roll. Chase down and gets away from the initial pressure. And he moves upfield and he's still in bounds. Did he lose the football, or he might have been called out of bounds or down by contact?
No, he lost it.
No,
I believe he lost the ball midair.
So Walter Welborn says they have it. We'll take another look at that fumble. A great initial effort by Carson Sanders, the quarterback. And gets past.
Right here. He hits the football. He loses it.
There's the ball that comes popping out.
I think it popped right in his arms.
So that was right along the sideline as Walter Welborn along the sideline thinks they have it. They're awaiting as far as the officials to make their determination.
Yeah, he knocked it out. He put his shoulder pad on the football.
I believe that was J.D. Talley that came up from his cornerback position. And indeed, referee.
Personal foul. Welborn. 15 yards, Larry. 15 yards back.
So Cecil Garrison tells us, 1, that it is Walter Welborn football, and then 2, a personal foul after the play. A big thanks to Wise Environmental as they bring us our third quarter coverage. Ohatchee had some rhythm going, but J.D. Talley able to force the football, and I believe he also recovered the fumble.
Well, he did a great job. He actually didn't tackle the man. He tackled the football. He put his shoulder pad and forearm into the football, and he knocked it loose, and it popped right in his teammate's arm.
So the penalty will move the football inside the 20 to the 16-yard line.
So that was a killer for Ohatchee right there.
Amberson operates out of the shotgun. Going to give on the jet sweep handoff. Looks like Zane Hill will get some decent yardage out to the 20-yard line. Or check that. See who. It is indeed Zane Hill. got some decent blocking off the right side. So a comfortable 17-point margin for Walter Welborn as they were able to take over the football to start this third quarter off an onside kick that went out of bounds from Ohatchee. And then 3 plays later, a 40-yard touchdown run by Maurice Traylor. Here's a 2nd down and 6. Braden Horton, not a whole lot up the middle as he gets stuffed back after forward progress. Tripp Nunnally on the tackle. They'll give him about a yard or so to the 22. We'll have, once again, our FNN Coaches Show coming up Tuesday night. Also, will be not too far away from here, up Highway 431 next week, as we'll make the trip up to Alexandria. A 4A Region 6 battle between Alexandria and Cherokee County, as we'll also let you take a look at our game next week. That is our Battle of the Belt this season, and here comes Traylor around the right side, and not much doing. Good contain that time on the corner for the Ohatchee defense.
Well, he didn't have enough room. He was running into the boundary right here, and they just didn't have enough space. If he'd have probably had that to the wide side of the field, that would have been a big gainer right there.
Fisher Connell, good pursuit and good contain to stop that third down play.
Now, Wellman didn't get good protection on that first punt, so, don't be surprised if Ohatchee sneaks in and get a block, because the blocking was terrible on that first punt that they had.
Well, we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen any punting so far, actually, for Walter Welborn, as it is indeed their first punt of the night. Braden Horton back to punt. Check that, their second punt. That's sidewinding and goes in a favorable role for the Panthers as that stops at the 36-yard line. Maurice Traylor able to make contact to blow the ball dead. It's a pretty solid field position for Ohatchee as they're able to get a 3-and-out that they need and get their offense back up on the field. Coming down toward the back few weeks of the regular season, 2 more region weeks for most of the state of Alabama. Now, 3A Region 6, one of those regions that they will have region games all the way through the end of the regular season on Halloween night. For Walter Welborn, they'll have a Halloween night trip up to Rainbow City to take on Westbrook Christian to close out the regular season. First down and 10, though, for Ohatchee. Hurd on the carry. Running room right side. As that's a good yardage across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Good blocking off that right side as well to get Jaden Hurd about seven yards or so. Wise Environmental brings us our third quarter. It was 16-7 at halftime in favor of Walter Welborn, and so far the Panthers the only team that's scored in this third quarter. Sanders, a little counter give, and opens up at least enough to get the first down yardage. And looks as if Tuio Losega indeed on the carry is Greenwood on the tackle. So that moves the football almost to midfield at the Ohatchee 48-yard line. 4.5 to go here in the third. Ohatchee still needs 3 scores to get back in this one. Walter Welborn scored 3 times and converted 2-point conversions after all of those 3 touchdowns. Sanders wants to throw. Flushed out, now runs. Goes to the sideline, and check that. Sanders able to get across midfield and stepped out of bounds at the Walter Welborn 44-yard line. Nice job that time of Sanders recognizing the pressure and able to get some solid yardage on first down. There you see just stepped out of bounds before he could turn it upfield further. So they'll say his toe stepped out of bounds at the Panthers 44. So second down and just a couple coming up. Ohatchee, their playoff hopes on life support right now. Tuiolosega gets the carry. Has some running room if he can turn the corner, and not quite able to do so for a big carry, but Traylor able to make the stop. However, a first down carry for Tuiolosega. Phoenix Tuiolosega, a big play man on offense for Ohatchee, as he's been, for the most part, held in check. He's had a couple of big runs in the first half. But Ohatchee, they've moved the ball a few times, but they really haven't been able to get the scores that they've needed so far tonight. First down and 10.
Well, they do better when they run in east and west.
Here's Hurd off the right side. Gets a good surge initially to get him to about the 37.5, just inside the 38-yard line. A gain of 3. So second down upcoming. Walter Welburn still in good position, but Ohatchee wants to try and get the wheels going here and try and have a late second half comeback. They're down 17. Walter Welburn has led since early in the second quarter. Sanders sets up the throwback screen, has his man complete. Hurd, as he is able to get his way around the first defender and move the sticks on the first down reception. Well executed screen that time, as Hurd able to reel in the catch and get stopped about the 27-yard line. Or check that, I beg your pardon, Jaden Sickler that time on the catch. Good catch by Jackson up here in the booth. So first down upcoming. And now Hunter back in the ball game as he gets the call. And he's not going to get very much. Jaden Sickler, a nice job so far in this drive with a first down run as well as a first down reception. But this time the Walter Welburn defense ready for Gus Hunter. So that will be no gain on the play. Second down coming up as this drive has eaten up quite a bit of clock as we're already under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And if you Welburn, that's what you want. You want that clock to run. You have 3 scores.
Here's the reverse, the end around for Tuiolosega as he snakes his way through the defense, still on his feet, and now slung down at the 5-yard line by Justice Williams. Well done that time by Coach Blake Jennings and coaching staff on this end around.
Well, that's poor tackling, though, right there. You had 4 Welburn defenders right there in the area.
So first down and goal coming up. This is a red zone trip for Ohatchee, courtesy of Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency of Talladega, covering Calhoun and Talladega counties. Sanders off the right side, tripped up just shy of the goal line inside the 1. We go under a minute here in the third quarter. Important that the Indians get the ball across the goal line to at least get a little bit closer in this one, down 17. So second and goal coming up. Both teams basically playing in that proverbial telephone booth, all 22 players basically inside that box.
And what you want to teach your teams there is just to get penetration right there. Welburn is not getting any penetration, and they run that bug sweep.
Here's the play fake, and the throw is high and incomplete. Intended for Alston Carroll, the tight end. Third down and goal on the way.
Well, and he had him boxed out then. That throw has to be lower. He had both defenders behind him, so that's just a basketball play. You box him out, throw it in there, and let him get it.
Under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. So you have Hunter still out there, the primary running back. Basically your big back in this ugly Eagle offense.
It looked like it's going right.
Here's Hunter. As good penetration by Walter Welburn as they stack him up and deny him the goal line.
That's how you stop it, James. You got to get penetration.
Braden Horton basically finishes the play on the tackle, but that whole front seven did their job. Final seconds tick off here in the third quarter. An important 4th and goal for the Ohatchee offense as they try and stay alive tonight. Fourth quarter coming up. Walter Wellborn 24, Ohatchee 7.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Fourth down and goal upcoming to start the fourth quarter. Dedication night here at Walter Wellborn of Jeff Smith Field here at the Hill. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, along with Shasta Jones, Jackson New, Jim Jacobs, and our FNN crew. As Walter Wellborn trying to take one step closer to returning to postseason play after just missing last season as part of that 5-way tie for a 3rd and 4th in 3A Region 6. 4th and goal coming up from the 2. A big thanks to Wise Environmental for bringing us our third quarter. We'll see if Ohatchee has a little money in the bank on this 4th and 2 to punch this in to the cash register for the touchdown from our friends at FNN Bank. 4th and goal. Sigler in the backfield as Sanders tosses and has his running back in Jaden Sigler for the touchdown. I'll take another look. Easy does it, and indeed money in the bank for Sanders to Sigler. Nobody around that play. Maurice Traylor, the closest to that play. A touchdown gets Ohatchee to within 11 with the PAT upcoming from Anthony Garcia.
Well, James, the cornerback's been missed a line all night. I was telling Jackson earlier, they've been misaligned. I mean, it's
PAT on the way. Snap and holder there, and the kick is up, and that is good. We'll take the timeout. Early fourth quarter, it's now Walter Wellborn 24 and Ohatchee 14.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with a newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
"15 years of excellence." That is the FNN High School Football Game of the Week as an onside kick recovered by Walter Wellborn on the Chef T's Restaurant kickoff. Big thanks to all of our sponsors for joining us tonight here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Walter Wellborn on offense as Isaiah Amberson a touchdown run along with Maurice Traylor as well as Zane Hill. We'll hear in a moment from our Shasta Jones when it came to her conversation earlier this week with Isaiah Amberson. First, Traylor gets the call and gets running room off the right side as he reverses field and makes an exciting run of it as he gets 9 yards to set up a 2nd down and 1. And let's hear from our Shasta Jones when it comes to the Walter Wellborn quarterback, Isaiah Amberson.
Yeah, James, Isaiah and his teammate actually duked it out this week with a game of rock, paper, scissors to see who had to chat with me first. Isaiah said he's seen improvement this season, keeping his composure on the field, listening to his teammates, and going on the plan that the coach gives them throughout the week. He wants to continue improving on passing the ball, spreading the ball out to his teammates equally, and winning the first down. He wants his team to love and respect their teammates and always listen to each other. Sending back to you, James.
A very nice job, Shasta. And that was the first down run from Traylor. As nearly staying on his feet, actually, is Zane Hill as he's able to tumble over to the 36-yard line. 1 minute and change played here in the fourth quarter as Ohatchee able to get on the board thanks to the second touchdown pass of the night for Carson Sanders to Jayden Sickler.
James, he gained about 4 or 5 yards off at the beginning, and then he bounced it out and lost 3 or 4. He had to get it back.
So second and 3. Slung down that time was the running back for Walter Wellborn and Caden Horton. He had a couple of big runs late in that first quarter to eventually set up Isaiah Amberson's early second quarter touchdown. Not much doing that time. In fact, may have lost a yard as Justice Williams and Maurice Traylor come back into the game. Caden Horton out. 3rd down and 4. Walter Wellborn just wants to keep the offense on the field here on 3rd down. Amberson on the roll. Looks for a receiver. And now tosses and gets his receiver complete for the first down as Walter Wellborn goes to the air for the first time tonight and comes through as Maurice Traylor on the catch.
Well, he showed a little speed getting outside that time. That was a great job. He kind of shot-putted the ball to him, but he got the job done.
That's right, and that gets the job done as far as a red zone opportunity for Walter Wellborn, courtesy of Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency. First down and 10 from the 19-yard line. Amberson now back under center. Pitches this one out to Traylor. Has a lot of running room as he'll turn the corner, or check that, Kirby turns the corner, and he gets in for the touchdown. Jakeem Kirby on a 19-yard touchdown run, Eddie.
Hey, and he outran his blocking right there. He should have stayed behind his blocking. He said, let me go and do this.
He's the 4th different player to score tonight, Eddie.
He got his blocker right there. He just outran.
Outrun everybody to the end zone does Jakeem Kirby. Join Amberson, Traylor, as well as Zane Hill as far as getting into the touchdown column. 2-point conversion is Amberson. Easy does it for the 2-point conversion. That makes it 32-14. We'll take the timeout. 9:13 to go until we get to the finish line here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Get that touchdown run of 19 yards from Jakeem Kirby. Able to stiff arm the only defender that really had a realistic chance of stopping him for Ohatchee. As we come back out, Caden Horton ready for the Chef T's restaurant kickoff. 9:13 left in tonight's 3A Region 6 rivalry clash. As Walter Wellborn looking for win number 4 in the season and to remain undefeated at Jeff Smith Field this year. Caden Horton has done just about everything you could ask of him tonight. Gets this line drive kickoff. Fielded at the 20-yard line. Roaming down the near sideline for Ohatchee with Sawyer Beagle. Able to get a good kick return to the 40-yard line. And a first down in 10 upcoming. Ohatchee, they've just not been able to finish drives enough as far as being able to stay in contention of Walter Wellborn tonight. As also, you look at their region play. Just one win in region play that came at Weaver. Their first win of the season, 21-13. And then they also have a non-region win at home on homecoming against Donahoe at the end of September. But otherwise, it has been an up and down season for the Indians under Blake Jennings in his first season. Tuiolo Sega with the jet sweep handoff and not able to get anything. In fact, loses a yard. Great pursuit by the Walter Wellborn defense as they were able to stop that sweep play. Walter Wellborn appears that they can just finish out this final 8 minutes and 40 seconds or so, that they'll get one step closer to the postseason. An opportunity to punch their ticket to the postseason next week at Locust Fork. Back to throw Sanders. He wants to go down the middle, and that's incomplete.
Should have been picked.
I was about to say the closest player to that ball, Eddie, was Zane Hill, the free safety.
Well, if Hill would have took his first step, he was flat-foot red and took his first steps back, that would have been an easy interception.
We'll hear more as far as Zane Hill later on in this quarter from our Shasta Jones, as Zane also had a chance to visit with Shasta on Wednesday. Talking with Coach Jeff Smith this week, told me they had actually told his team after practice Wednesday, great practices on Monday and Tuesday, rock solid on Wednesday as well. As on third down here, Sanders under pressure, and he'll go down. Caden Horton on the sack as he takes Sanders down back around the 30-yard line.
Now, that was great coverage. That was a coverage sack right there. He couldn't get outside. His initial read, everybody was covered.
Fourth down coming up. A big thanks to the Grub Mart for helping us for another season when it comes to sponsoring the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. There you see our folks from the Grub Mart with those 99-cent bags of ice, as well as the yummy Oleo donuts. Back to punt. Ethan Jones. Side winding line drive. Fielded at the 39-yard line. Snaking his way to the near side, Justice Williams as he's thrown down at the Ohatchee 45. Let's see where they mark his progress. As Walter Wellborn, they'll start in Ohatchee territory at the 47-yard line. And, in fact, let's hear from Shasta Jones when it comes to one of those players that's also scored tonight for Walter Wellborn and junior Zane Hill.
Zane told me he's seen improvement in his catching abilities as well as getting stronger. His goal is to have 1,000 yards rushing this season. He wants his team to learn to stay together and be one, not worrying about themselves, but focus on winning the game. Sending it back to you.
And it looks as if Walter Wellborn is 7:22 away from picking up win number 4 on the season. Trailer cuts it up off of right tackle across the 45 to the 44-yard line. So far, Eddie, a good, solid performance for Walter Wellborn. They've been able to at least handle the big night that it was pregame as far as honoring the field for Coach Jeff Smith, and they've so far been able to basically take care of business in the game they need to take care of business.
Well, they had to. I mean, like I said, you got all that pressure on you, field dedication, and you do not want to go down in the team's history as the team that lost the game on the coach's field dedication.
Isaiah Amberson bullies his way across the 35 to about the 32-yard line as he basically threw away on the stiff arm Fisher Connell, the sophomore. So first down at the 32-yard line. And, I mean, when talking with Coach Smith after practice on Wednesday, Eddie, you could just look in his eyes, look in his face when you asked him about just the meaning of having this field dedicated, a field he played on and has coached on for 17 seasons. You could just tell how much this night was going to, and I imagine when we talked to him after the game, this night is meant to him.
Man, you talking history, man, and then, you know, one thing that hasn't been mentioned is that, you know, he got both his sons on the sideline coaching with him, man, and, you know, what else can you ask for? I mean, you coaching at the school you played for, you getting the field that you played on named after you, and then you got both of your sons who played for you coaching with you. So it's just a family affair.
And one thing you mentioned as far as history, Coach Smith emphasized to me was that as far as the honoring of the field, it was basically dedicating his portion, this era of Walter Welborn football, as far as his 17 seasons of coaching, is Maurice Traylor able to take the pitch around the left side and get into the red zone for another Walter Welborn first down.
But you still can't knock, you know, because it speaks on behalf of the entire Welborn tradition, because this place has always been known as the Hill. So now it's Jeff Smith Field at the Hill.
And that's something he mentioned
Right.
as far as some of the other names in Walter Welborn past that are named, as far as like the gym as well as the field house off to our right. And so, and as we mentioned at the very top, Coach Jeff Smith, really one of Walter Welborn's very own. 6 minutes to go. Trailer off the right side, able to get out of a couple of tacklers. However, can't get a whole lot as he gets close to the 10, about the 12-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go in tonight's ball game. Also, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, including the Calhoun County Commission, longtime partners of ours when it comes to the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Second down upcoming. It'll be a Walter Welborn victory as there was a flag on the play. And a holding call goes on the Panthers. A good night for the officials, at least in this case, when we don't have to hear very much from Cecil Garrison. That means the teams have been able to keep it pretty much between the lines relative to penalties. I don't think both of these teams have even combined for 10 penalties throughout this game. 1st and 15 as Braden Horton barrels his way into the Ohatchee defense across the 15 to about the 12-yard line.
You probably see that quick pitch, which is like it's not a speed option. It's a speed toss, you know, that they ran so successfully, you know.
Don't forget the Bucks Island Scoreboard Show follows us this evening with a look at scores from across our area and the state, as well as visits with coaches and players. That's following tonight's ball game. Less than 5 minutes to go until we reach triple zeros.
We're in the power eye.
Give to Horton, kind of that counter give up the middle as he bulls his way to the first down marker. First down and goal coming up. And Walter Welborn just powering their way to the finish line here in the fourth quarter. A strong second half and really a workmanlike type of victory.
Well, you know, that's what he's known for. I mean, he's thrown, 2 passes? I mean, that's what he's known for. I mean, let's line up man on man and let's see who give out first.
4:15 to go in the ball game. First and goal. And before the snap, looks as if we have a flag on the play. Maybe some movement along the offensive line.
Before the snap, encroachment, defense, half the distance, still first down.
So an offside on Ohatchee as they'll move the ball a bit closer to the goal line. Justice Williams gets the play into his offense.
I'm going to line them up, James, and I'm going to give them the speed toss right here. One play to score.
Basically, just power it on in and put some icing on the cake on a festive night here at Walter Wellborn. There's Braden Horton into the end zone as he gets into the scoring column. Touchdown for Walter Wellborn. We'll take another look as Braden Horton from a couple of yards out. We'll see a second look. Some good blocking right in the interior line of the Panthers.
Right, just offset eye and just give it to the fullback and let him take it up in there.
2-point try coming up. Amberson goes under center as Caden Horton roams in for the 2-point conversion and will take the timeout. Less than 4 to go as Walter Wellborn on top 40-14.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shopping you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Tees kickoff coming up for Walter Wellborn as we near the finish line here at Jeff Smith Field at the Hill. 3:52 to go in tonight's football game. Caden Horton end over end kick lands at the 20-yard line. Advance down the near sideline across the 40, and Beagle driven out of bounds across the 45 of Walter Wellborn to the 40-yard line. And so far, a good night for Walter Wellborn, but a highlight here for Beagle as he's able to take the kickoff from the 25 all the way to the Walter Wellborn 40-yard line. That's a kickoff return of 35 yards. So Ohatchee trying to get another score on the board before they return the short trip over to Ohatchee. They'll close out their home schedule next week against Glencoe. Give goes to Sigler. A solid run across the 35 and taken down about the 32-yard line. And in talking with Coach Blake Jennings earlier this week as well, Eddie, he feels really positive as far as the direction his program is going in. Not a lot of numbers this year, but a couple of factors he mentioned to me. Their junior high numbers are really high in both quantity and quality of players. And also, don't forget realignment coming up again after this season, and very likely that Ohatchee goes from 3A to 2A in the next round of realignment.
Well, and I think they're young, too. I think he got a bunch of young players out there. I don't think he has that many seniors.
That's right, indeed. Just, I think, 5 seniors this year is what Blake Jennings mentioned to me earlier this week. And then also a lot of depth coming up as far as those 8th and 9th grade numbers. Approaching 2.5 to go. 3rd down and 2 upcoming for Walter Wellborn. They'll improve to 4-2 overall and 4-1 in region play. And then for Ohatchee, the loss will drop them to 2-6 overall and 1-5 in region play, as we'll have a whistle and a timeout on the field, and we'll take the timeout with them. 2:13 to go. It's Walter Wellborn 14 and Ohatchee 14.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Walter Welborn on top with a 40 spot on the board. 40-14 in favor of the Panthers. A big pat on the back night for Coach Jeff Smith as the field at the Hill named in his honor prior to kickoff this evening. And they've been able to lead ever since their first score early in the second quarter. We'll hear from Coach Jeff Smith following tonight's ball game. I imagine we'll get one or a couple of players with him as well. Ohatchee with the ball, 3rd down and 2. Sanders in the shotgun. Sigler ahead of steam off the right side as he bangs forward for the first down into the red zone. The Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency red zone at the 19-yard line for the Indians of Ohatchee.
That was a good, tough run right there.
A big thanks to Beth Thomas Alpha Insurance Agency as well as all of our sponsors tonight. Advantage Tire and Alignment in the second quarter. Also the City of Ohatchee, our first quarter sponsor. Sanders finds room off right guard, and he's taken down just shy of the 10-yard line, about the 12. J.D. Talley, a good game from the cornerback spot as he was able to force and recover a fumble earlier in the game. Ohatchee trying to get one more score before they make the short trip back to the western portion of Calhoun County. And also, before we go as well, a big thanks to the rest of our sponsors for tonight. As here's the carry for Sigler as he gets tripped up inside the 10. Wise Environmental, our third quarter sponsor, and of course Chef T's for our kickoff. And then our regulars season long every week in FNN Bank, Grub Mart, and the Calhoun County Commission. 1st and goal from the 6. Final 35 seconds coming up. Yeah, Sanders on the roll. Has running room. Can he get to the pylon? And yes, he can. Touchdown for Ohatchee. So Carson Sanders, his 3rd total touchdown tonight, as he has 2 in the air and this one on the ground. We'll take another look. A good magician work that time by Sanders as he's able to outrun the Walter Welborn defender that time in Thane Doland for the touchdown. So that makes it Walter Welborn 40 and Ohatchee 20. Point after coming up for Anthony Garcia. As looks like the kick up or we have a timeout, actually. A timeout on the field as let's go ahead and take the timeout with them late in the 4th quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Late in the 4th quarter as you take a look at the Ohatchee sideline as Blake Jennings trying to encourage his squad down the final seconds. 24.7 seconds to go. As it looks as if Ohatchee, they want to go for 2. Make this an 18-point lead for Walter Welborn. Sanders on the drop. tosses the fade route and Tortuio Losega, and that's incomplete with a flag on the play. A little contact in the back of the end zone. I think Traylor got a little early contact. See what they call here. And it is indeed a Walter Welburn pass interference, so they'll move the ball half the distance to the goal line. So for Ohatchee, likely their playoff hopes come to an end tonight as Glencoe a big lead against Sacs at home at halftime. I imagine that's gotten to the finish line or close to it for Glencoe and Sacs. Second try at the 2-point conversion. And here's Sigler into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So that makes it 40-22 in favor of Walter Welburn. But I got to imagine, Eddie, it's still going to be a very fun night for Walter Welburn once we get the final few seconds away. And I imagine it'll be a very, very happy Coach Smith when we hear from him with Shasta Jones following this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll be, he don't like giving up 22 points, but, still he's going to be happy just to get a win and know where he's sitting as far as, playoff contention.
And then just with all the hoopla surrounding Coach Smith getting honored tonight, certainly good as far as from the Walter Welburn perspective to get across the finish line with a win. As here comes the Chef T's Restaurant kickoff for the final time tonight. Looks as if an onside kick being set up for Anthony Garcia. And this time able to get a better onside kick as that'll be fallen upon by Walter Welburn. And it looked as if that time Eli Wickland, the tight end and defensive end, able to make the recovery. So a timeout on the field. There's 24.7 seconds left, but I imagine it'll be just a few more plays, however, until Walter Welburn can just take a knee and give Coach Jeff Smith his fourth win of the season. A win on, we'll call it Jeff Smith Field Night, and you take a look as far as the career for Coach Jeff Smith. 110 wins after tonight, and then 186 for his career. 110 at Walter Welburn alone, and then after tonight he'll be just 14 away from getting to 200 career wins. And there you see our 2011 FNN Coach of the Year. Also the former head coach at Ohatchee and Hueytown, as far as a long, distinguished, nearly 3-decade coaching career. And also played here at Walter Welburn, as well as a former JSU Gamecock. Here comes the victory formation. Should be just one snap to get things done for the Panthers. And that should do it as Amberson goes to the knee, and they'll wind the clock down as Walter Welburn will take a step closer to the postseason as they take care of the Ohatchee Indians by a score of 40-22. Our Shasta Jones making her way out to midfield to catch up with Coach Jeff Smith. A solid night tonight as the field named in dedication for Jeff Smith here at the Hill. And the Walter Welburn Panthers able to win after getting on top 8-0 early in the second quarter, thanks to Isaiah Amberson's 15-yard touchdown run. Ohatchee got to within one in the second quarter, but Walter Welburn never looked back as we are close to, and in fact, I think we are ready now for Shasta Jones with the winning head coach in Jeff Smith.
Coach Smith, they're going to have me hang on for one more second, so I'm going to throw it right back to you, Hardy.
Sure thing. As we'll hear from Coach Jeff Smith here in just a moment, as Walter Welburn able to get a team effort, especially offensively, but able to get the necessary defensive stops to be able to come away with their fourth victory of the season as they go to Locust Fork next week, and now we'll resend it with Shasta Jones.
Coach Smith, after you went in for halftime, your offense came back, put 3 touchdowns on the board. What did they do to make this team effort work out tonight for the win?
Well, I thought we made some good halftime adjustments. The kids wanted this game; they wanted it big, and we're one game from the playoffs now. So, we had an open week. We got some players back healthy, and they worked hard, and I'm very proud of them.
How much more does this historic win mean for you tonight? Now that tonight this field was named after you.
Well, I tell you what, it's a relief, to be honest with you, right there. So I'm very humbled, very honored. I thank God for all He's blessed me, because I don't deserve it, and I just hope I represent all our former players like I need to.
Well, congratulations on this win, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to send it back up to you, Hardy.
Thank you, Shasta, and thank you, Coach Smith. And you could hear the emotion just as far as the night tonight for Coach Jeff Smith, as Walter Wellborn able to get out with a 40-22 win. We'll take the timeout, and we'll wrap things up after this timeout as you're watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
We wrap things up here on a historic night for the Walter Wellborn football program, as the field at the Hill named in Coach Jeff Smith's honor as they come away with a 40-22 win over the Ohatchee Indians. Don't forget, on Tuesday we'll have our FNN Coaches Show. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, and yours truly recap this past week of high school football in our area, as well as award another Player of the Week, courtesy of Talladega Short Track. And don't forget, this upcoming week, as we'll have our big Battle of the Belt, not too far away from here, just up 431, as Alexandria hosts Cherokee County for a big 4A Region 6 class that could determine who gets second place out of 4A Region 6. So a big thanks to Shasta Jones, Jackson New, Jim Jacobs, and our FNN crew, and a big thanks to Blake Jennings and Coach Jeff Smith for helping us out during the week as well. And, of course, a big thanks to Eddie Bullock for, as always, a job well done. As we wish you a happy Friday evening and a great weekend coming up, as once again your final score, Walter Wellborn 40 and Ohatchee 22. This has been a presentation of the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.